Hi there, I'm Kevin Benedict, SAP Mentor volunteer and mobile and machine-to-machine industry analyst. I want to thank you for joining me today for my video comments. The first thing I want to talk about today is an event. I think a special event, especially if you're in Europe. It's May 9 through 11 in Brussels, and it's called the Enterprise Mobility Exchange. I will be there. I look forward to it. I know a lot of different companies that I see and work with within the SAP ecosystem and the services sector will all be present. I read through the agenda yesterday and noted that the majority of the agenda was actual end users talking about their deployments, their strategies, their challenges, what worked and what didn't work. I'm excited to be there. Not only that, I want to see the latest tablets, the latest smartphones, and the ruggedized versions of all. So I look forward on May 9 through 10 to the Enterprise Mobility Exchange. Today I'm going to talk about the challenges that I've heard from the mobile experts. I'm fortunate enough to have interviewed literally dozens and dozens of industry experts in the mobile space over just the last couple months. Now, I've went back and I've reviewed the answers to the question I put out there. What are some of the biggest challenges in enterprise mobility today? And let me review with you some of the categories of challenges that these experts are bringing up to us. One of the first that I'm going to bring up and talk about today is, in fact, confusion. Confusion in the market. Every day, whether you're reading the Wall Street Journal or Financial Times or the Guardian or your local town paper, you're reading about new operating systems for mobility, new smartphones, new applications. Where does a company start? Big question, big concern, because you can invest a lot of money going down the wrong path. You don't want to be doing that. Yet industries know today, matter of fact, Aberdeen Group reported recently that mobility is now in the top 3 priorities of enterprises. So if it's that much of a priority, they know they need to do it, but where do they start? That's a big challenge out there. Why is that a challenge? Again, because they don't want to spend their budget going down the wrong path. Customers are asking really good questions, but they're challenging questions. Questions like, do I need a different development team for an iPhone and a different development team, for an Android and a BlackBerry and a Microsoft environment? How does that work? That's a lot of money. Do I need a different expert for every kind of application? One group for tablets, one group for smartphones? How do I update all those? How would a help desk possibly understand all that? Those are big questions that people are asking out there today. Another one is the rapid change of mobility. From telegraph, right, to radios, to telephones, to mobile phones, to the mobile internet. Things change rapidly. Seems like on a monthly basis you're getting these new versions. IT organizations, one of the big challenges, they need to realize that they can't do a traditional IT project that lasts 18 months and is built for one mobile device. It'll never work today. That's a big challenge. They need to create a standard, solid, reliable infrastructure and mobile platform, and integration strategy, and secure and mobile device management platform. They can standardize on those, and then they can abstract the mobile devices that change so rapidly. But that is a very big challenge for people. Another area which is a big challenge is design and development strategies. Let me just go through 5 here that were brought up by the experts that I interviewed. Usability. Does the mobile application work the way the work is actually done in the field? That's a challenge. Did your business analyst design the solution 3,000 miles away in an office complex? Or did you involve the actual workers who stand in the mud and the rain in the bright sunlight to build these things? Number 2, consumer-driven mobile applications are influencing the expectations of your employees. If they go home on weekends and they use their iPads and their smartphones of all kinds, their Android devices and their iPhones, and do all the kinds of fun things, are they going to be happy tapping through a menu on your smartphone to do their applications? Or are they going to expect that you will have some of that knowledge and some of those skills that they're seeing on their consumer applications? Companies often have outdated perspectives. The days are far gone when a mobile application was simply dispatching a work order to a service technician, which would open it up, fill in the data, and send it back. Today, mobile applications are GPS aware. They know where you are on the map. They know what inventory you have with you. They know what customers you're visiting. They can show you customer records and history and customer support issues. They can show you maintenance records. All of these things can be mashed up and pushed out to you so you're prepared. There's new technologies, new strategies. Don't use old ones, old strategies for mobility. That's a challenge. B2C, business to consumer. You know, if you're rolling out a mobile application to your employees, you can in fact demand that they use that. But you can't demand that your customers use your mobile application. You've got to make it compelling and beneficial for the end user. Those are new ways of thinking out there. You need to meet the needs of the customer. You know, sometimes your user will be working in frozen tundra. Their fingers are covered with gloves. How can they use the device? Maybe they're connected to the internet, maybe they're not. How do you handle that? You don't want them to stop work just because the internet's not there. Perhaps a digital photo with some photo editing tools where you could take a picture of a piece of equipment, draw a circle around it, put an arrow on it, and write some quick notes is far better for documenting a problem than 3 pages of typed memos. These things must be considered when you're in the field. Management needs to change the way they think. And I go back to the poem written by Alfred Lloyd Tennyson called The Charge of the Light Brigade. In that, a tragic poem, but the poem describes commanders ordering cavalry riding on horses to charge across open fields in the face of machine guns and artillery. In decades in the past of that time, that was the way you charged the line. But not when the technology has changed. Not when there's machine guns, rapid-fire artillery, tanks, and airplanes. You can't be charging with horses across open field. That was an example, and it always reminds me of the way management sometimes keeps old processes and old way of thinking, even in the face of new technology. Enterprises must recognize the power available in mobility and geospatially aware applications. Enterprises also need to make it easier for developers to write just apps, not have to think through how do I manage my devices, my applications, and everything. They need to be able to just build apps and let the rest be handled by a mobile platform. Right now, there's a big problem. It's called lack of governance. You know, when we mean lack of governance is when you look at all the different applications, all the different users, all the different mobile devices, who is trying to bring all of that under control so the help desk can add value. They need to know things like what happens when an employee travels overseas. Do they still use their device and run up hundreds of dollars of data charges and roaming charges? How do they replace a device? How do they secure a device? What devices are supported? How does a device get connected in? All of those things are governance issues. That is a big challenge for companies because many of them have not thought about it. Another big challenge is in many companies, the employees are bringing more powerful mobile devices to the office with them in their pocket than the company issues. And those employees, by the way, they want the company now to be supporting the latest, greatest device in their pocket. What is the governance around that? How do you secure a personal device so that a personal device can share both corporate data that needs to be confidential and personal calendars and personal information? How do you manage that? Those are big issues. Now that data can be pushed out and queried from mobile environments, and you can access entire data warehouses with data. You can be getting data from all corners of the world, but is that always useful? No, it's not. Getting the right data to the right person at the right time on the right device and the right application is what needs to happen. How do you do that? It's a big issue that needs to be thought about and a big challenge. Companies must think about what is possible in this new world of mobile devices. You now have FaceTime on iPhone 4s. It allows you to look at people and talk to them. If you're deaf or hearing impaired, you can use sign language now over the phone. There's new technologies out there. There's augmented reality where you can take a picture of a piece of equipment, send that picture back, the database recognizes the equipment and gives you the maintenance instructions on it. And you can build animated instructions that show you step 1 through 16, how to disassemble that piece of equipment. All these kinds of tools are available. Are you recognizing that? Are you thinking about it? This year and next year, the next 24 months, are going to be huge for mobile e-wallets, using your phone to buy things. How can you use that in your environment? QRC, quick response codes. You can take a picture of a barcode and it can bring up a whole product demonstration immediately on your smartphone. How is your company utilizing that? How's your user manuals using that? How's your advertising using that? All these things. It's a fascinating world. There's lots of challenges, but we're here to address them and learn about them and try to figure them out together. I want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you, if you get a chance to be in Brussels in May 9 through 11 at the Enterprise Mobility Exchange. Thank you for joining me.